We back. We in effect. What?
What?
We back.
What?
We back. Oh man, you lose, dog.
That daft droid made it worse.
He wouldn't.
Well, that will set me back a bit.
Left coast is the best coast.
What's going on? Welcome, Super John. John Hattie.
Who was that character? I don't even know who that is.
What's the
That girl. There was some girl with these weird things on her head. I don't know.
tentacle head? We call her.
Tentacle head? Okay, yeah.
Or what, they don't call them tentacles. They call them.
I don't know. Loki's? Lecky?
Leku.
Leku?
I think the two things are called Leku, and I think the third thing is actually called something else. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a not archaeologist, physical alien species
Biologist? Speciologist?
That's the class I missed.
Speciologist. So where's Waze today? What's he doing?
He's unpacking, apparently.
Oh.
I think. Vern is either working or taking a nap because he's older. And Eric, I think, must be feeding his baby because what else?
Yeah. He's got responsibilities. He's got a little thing.
Real man, family stuff, business.
Yep.
Kind of like G-Force cutting grass. Like that's business. Got to get it done.
So why? This just brings up something. Why does she use two lightsabers against robots and guys with blasters? But when she comes to go fight a guy who's actually a lightsaber wielder, she just turns off one and hangs it up and uses only one lightsaber.
Yeah, good point. I noticed too with Balin, he was a good two-hander. You know, like kind of like a broadsword. You know, or like a his armor kind of gives him that look too, right?
He's got like a claymore lightsaber.
For sure, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So welcome, Mr. Rolando, sir. And I don't know who this guy is.
I can ignore him.
Adams.
Yeah.
He looks familiar though.
He's from the past though.
Some hippie.
Yeah.
Hello, Angelina.
How you doing?
And Mr. White Shadow.
Oh yeah, White Shadow. He says he's driving. He's using the Dino excuse.
He could be popping in on his driving cam, you know, overhead.
Is that G-Force? Yeah, G-Force is here.
So it's that black pyramid thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty spooky.
I could see Rex coming in. Why not?
I think again, like a lot of these things that we want and we say, I think are silly if he doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like if Dave Filoni created all these characters, what we're seeing now.
But I mean, I'm not sure how Rex fits into the story at this point. I mean, like, but if there's a future season, another season, or a continuation of this in some format, I could see him popping in at some point.
Yeah, because I guess I don't see every single one of these characters. You like say the Rebels crew, and then all these other new characters were introduced to Hattie and Balin and the witch lady, like in Thrawn. We don't know all of them will live, or the Rebels crew. That's the part that I want to see, all the stories that describe, you know, all of their demise, because none of them exist in the sequels. So, or they're all hidden in that far galaxy when they threw away the key. All of them, they're all alive.
But didn't they mention Hera in the in
Yes,
Force
General
Awakens.
Syndulla was Paige in the sequels,
Yeah,
and we
okay,
do see
but
the ship at one point.
then again, you don't really know if it's Hera though,
No,
because
but here's
General
some.
Syndulla could be Jason, right?
Yes, because there is a line in the episode. Um, he's like, "Mom, sometimes I don't want to, do what I'm told or whatever." Because that one dot lieutenant guy or whatever is like, "Oh, you can't go in your own ship and do your own stuff."
Yeah,
And so she says to her son, "Oh, when you become a general one day, you can disobey orders too." And I'm like, "Boom,
yeah.
dude is going to be a general in the Dave Filoni movie that takes place the Ray movie that takes place, I think, between 15 and 25 years after,
The sequels.
now,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
after the sequels. Sorry, so
yeah,
he
yeah.
would be of the age, maybe to
Well,
be
he
a
could have
general.
been the general they called in the com, General Syndulla. We don't know. Is Jason going by Syndulla or is Jason going by Jarrus?
Oh, his last name. Yeah, what's on his ID?
Yeah, is it
What's
Syndulla
on
or
his
Jarrus?
multi-pass?
Did she name him after Kanan or did she give him her name?
Well, Kanan, that was not originally his name. He changed it.
No, that's right. He was Caleb Doom.
Caleb, yeah. Which
So
I
that
like.
Jason Doom, so.
Yeah, it'd make it a little combo name. And yes, I bought 91 backers last minute so you guys could all get yours. Get your ghosts.
Did you bought 91 of them?
No, I didn't buy it.
I didn't get it
It's
either.
cool.
No.
It's not my thing. If it was a sail barge, I would have backed it. I couldn't back the sail barge originally. I missed out. I'm pissed off. I love my Razor Crest though. Like I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Part
Oh,
with
if I
that
had the money, I would have backed it, but I just don't. I spent that couch I bought was $460, and then I spent like $200 on shelves and a paint and
Yeah.
the lighting system. I used my toy budget to redo that room, so I don't have any more for a little while.
If all 200 people in the chat right now, if they all go to my store and buy like $40 worth of merchandise, I'll go back to Ghost. I'll go back to Ghost right now. There's still 5 hours left.
Your pins showed up, so thank you.
Awesome. I got another little package here for you too, because I think
I liked that you sent me the alternate versions. Oh yes, there's my R5D4.
This is the one you didn't get, right?
Yeah.
That's right. It's right there. I had to dig for it. My secret stash. Ezra and Thrawn. I think definitely 100% that episode 5 we see.
Yeah.
All the trailer spots that we haven't seen yet. So Thrawn. Actually, we haven't seen any spots of Ezra that's not a hologram, right? So
no.
But I think for sure we will. I'm wondering too, like since Sabine seems to be like crushing on him, missing him, whether it's family or lover type of missing. What if she finds him and he's like married with kids now? Because 10 years have gone by,
he's
right?
Ted Bundy. He turns into Ted Bundy, married with children.
Or maybe he likes guys. I don't know, or aliens or robots.
She thinks he took the Syndulla name. He's Jason Syndulla. Okay.
Yeah, but it would make sense. So yeah, so in its sequels, when we hear General Syndulla, maybe that's totally who they're talking about.
Yeah, that could be
a
cool.
Young. What's it? Jason is his name.
Well, you'd add 30 years on, wouldn't you? Well, 25, I guess. 25.
And Hera, she looks. I don't think she's 80 years old, but I mean, she looks in her 30s.
Oh, it's Al Bundy, not Ted Bundy. Sorry. Yeah, it's
Al the same
Bundy.
Guy.
Yeah. Driving and listening. Why aren't you here, Vern?
Did you know?
Yeah, Al Bundy and Peg. Yeah.
Ed O'Neill, the actor who is Al Bundy, that he was a college football stud and went to the pros a little bit and didn't really make it. Like I didn't know that was a real thing, but I saw him on a podcast and he really did play football with who he met. He told a story against a late tackle against Joe Namath in college out of bounds, and the whole team wanted to beat him up or something like that. It was funny.
That was a funny show, but I'm not 100% sure that every episode would go well with today's cancel.
No, you're totally right. There's so much stuff that we watched growing up that now
today's cancel audience would kill the show.
It's weird to think like that wouldn't be on the general cable.
Yeah,
it would probably exist, but it'd have to be on like behind a paywall.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the way to put it. Like it'd be on one of the streaming channels, Netflix or Disney, because they get a lot of stuff that can't be, like The Boys could not be on, Channel 10 at noon, because it's so grotesque and violent. Peacemaker too. Like Peacemaker was an HBO show. You couldn't put Peacemaker on like ABC on Saturday,
I'm saying because of some of the jokes towards women and marriage and stuff like that. Like people would cancel that stuff today.
You got Blazing Saddles and Richard Pryor, like all these.
Oh yeah, his stuff would be his stuff would be canceled today. Yeah,
absolutely craziness. Okay, where's my little screen?
Anyways, let's get on with the show.
Let's get it on. So I did not put a poll in the chat, but all 600 of you can let us know if you thought this was the best episode of the 4 by far, because it was. It was. If you weren't liking the series or loving the series, kind of like me, I haven't been loving it. I've just been enjoying it because it's new freaking Star Wars. This episode was very Star Wars-y.
Yeah.
Lots of blinking lights. It had all the stuff. The set,
but I will.
Design, it wasn't all stagecraft. It was
the first episode to confuse my mom, though. Only the ending. Okay. Only the ending.
Well, yeah, because the ending, like, you only know that the world between worlds, spoiler alert, if you watch the cartoons.
Like, because she was like, where the heck? Yeah, she was like, where the heck is she? And what is that place? You know what I mean? Like so if they don't explain it in the next episode, she's just going to totally lose her mind.
And for those in the chat that don't know where that is, that's like Jedi heaven.
It's the negative zone.
Because Ahsoka is dead. It finally happened again. Finally. So we get right into it with them on their crash ship, so to speak, on this redwood planet. Ciamos?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really like Sabine's, like the portrayal of Sabine. I think this is really cool.
She did a good job tonight.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Even Ahsoka, like this was one of Rosario's better episodes. She's still flat. Like, I find her character, her portraying of Ahsoka just kind of flat. When all I know is Ahsoka is like bubbly little, just bubbly, because it's Ashley Eckstein who portrayed her.
Yeah.
And I posted one of my theories. I still think Ashley will somehow portray a younger Ahsoka in live action, because
she could do the voice at least if they got a stunt.
Put orange makeup on her, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
The original character, and people are like, "Oh, she's like the same age." She's not. I think she is 41, and I think Rosario's 44. So there's a 4-year difference. But Ashley looks 14, like in real life. She's a very youthful, light-haired, fair-skinned woman. Like, just come on, man. You can't disagree with me that she doesn't look like she could still play a 19-year-old Ahsoka. She does so every day in real life. Like,
especially
she braids her hair in the blue and
put the makeup on and everything. Yeah, you're not gonna be. Yeah,
she does. It's her. She started a freaking clothing and jewelry company based on her, passion for being this character and being, in the Star Wars universe herself. So it's official. She is definitely the original Ahsoka. I think.
But if they don't, I could see them using a young stunt double and then just having her do the voice. Because if they did a flashback to a younger Ahsoka and didn't use Ashley Eckstein's voice, then you have to start questioning, what the hell? Why do they hate Ashley now? You know what I mean? Like,
if right now, John, you were making a movie about me and it was all younger me, younger left coast, and then at the final 5 minutes there was a scene with 29-year-old current day left coast at 29, and you didn't ask me to portray me, that would be like a slap in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I can't.
That's why I'm saying, why if that happened, if they did a younger Ahsoka and they did not at least get her to do the voice, I'd be like, that means that they hate her for some reason.
Because the voice, although Rosario's no doubt, she's pulling it off. She's playing the role. If you were just to put the two voices next to each other in a couple of clips, it kind of works, even though they're completely different, like
Yeah.
muscle tones and
No, it's fine. Yeah. No.
structure and heritage and stuff. Like even when they speak in real life, Ashley still sounds, very youthful and
Yeah.
and bubbly. It's just that that always comes out of her character to me. So when we don't get a conflict here, but we do have Ahsoka asking, hey, can I trust you? This is
Can I count on you? Yeah.
this is important Jedi business, man. This is important shit. And she's like, well, of course you can, kind of thing. And it seemed right away that she's a rebel. Remember, she should have said, I'm a rebel. I still like to do things my own way. So we already know, I think she's not going to listen or
Yeah.
be a little bit of a naughty girl. But I like that right off the bat, we got a little bit of a droid fight. I don't know why these pictures are not in the correct order. I think they are, but
You didn't fill the screen either if you wanted to. I don't know.
no, I can, but we got Gilster in chat now. What's up, Gilster?
Should have destroyed the map when she had the chance. I think Sabine realized this was the only way. Yeah, I think Sabine like the need to find, especially now that Ahsoka's fallen off the cliff. You know what I mean? Like I think in that moment she's like the only chance is essentially to get Ezra back and hope that when you get over there that Ezra could have a plan for stopping everything. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, because it's a character they haven't showed us yet,
yeah.
except for like a pre-recorded hologram, which it could be, several years old. Like, we don't know when that hologram was sent, but I think it was. He currently isn't like sending her messages, weekly.
No, he
so
gave that. He put that. He made that hologram before he attacked.
Oh yeah, it was on his little Jedi.
Yeah, it was. If you watch the cartoon,
Viewmaster.
it was in the little Jedi Viewmaster. Yeah.
So I thought we had some. Maybe the robot fight hasn't happened yet. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So the plant, they're good to go here. They've got, again, as much as I love this episode, I don't understand why they have these light structures there for this.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I saw these in the trailer, and I'm like, oh, maybe they forgot to finish editing the trailer and take away these stagecraft lights that you can rent. Because those lights aren't Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't
buy them at Home Depot. Yeah,
you can. Like, we used to light our football practice with those lights back in the day.
Yep.
So I don't know, but I do like all the little lights. Other than those lights up here, other than these lights, I love all these little lights. The lights on Balin's gauntlet, the lights on Shin Hati's gauntlet, the little lights on the this Inquisitor guy's helmet and his vest. Like that's Star Warsy to me. So there's lots of that kind of Star Warsy stuff that I love. That in this episode that I brought up last week that I wished to see. We got a lot of that in this show, so I was very happy that a lot of those things came true today. But hats off to the actor Ray Stevenson for his role and his dialogue in this episode. He was the hero, in my opinion, of this episode.
Yeah, really good. I liked it. Yeah, I liked him and I liked Shin. I like how.
Yeah, Shin it's her eyes.
I like how
the good.
I'm like, what happened to Shin? Because she seems to be angry all the time. She's just upset.
She gets pissed at one point too.
She does.
And so does Balin. We were talking a little bit before the show. He gets pissed when Ahsoka, throws her like a fish against the wall, and he's like, I'm like, damn, maybe that's his daughter or something going on there.
Yeah, we don't know Shin's background. Yeah, we don't really. We don't know either one. I mean, we really don't know either one.
But yeah, so the title of this part, the episode, chapter, Fallen Jedi, which right away, now that we've all seen the episode, it takes several meanings, right? Like literally Ahsoka falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
So that's a fallen Jedi.
And
It's pretty punny if that's why Dave did it, called it this. But I see it as Balin as well. Like we're starting to get a little bit of his backstory without it being told to us. He's slowly revealing a little bit at a time, like because Ahsoka seems to know nothing about him, as she says, like I've never heard of you. I don't know nothing. Anakin never spoke of you, kind of thing, right? So it's interesting that no, she's not part of the Jedi Council, right? Maybe the Jedi Council people would all know about characters like Balin and you never know.
They would, but not everybody knows everybody. Yeah.
And here we get more of.
There were thousands of Jedi Knights, according to Obi-Wan.
Absolutely. And here we get more of the cool, like, do you need a blinky light on your knapsack?
Oh, you
no,
totally
but
do.
That makes it freaking Star Wars and it's badass.
I need blinky lights on all my stuff. I have a blinky light on my blanket because it's cool.
Blinky lights on her gauntlets, her chest. I'm sure her helmet's maybe got one somewhere we can't see, but
the visor thing has a blinky light.
It does. There you go. Yeah. So I don't know. She's really rummaging. I didn't know what she was looking for. But and Ahsoka again is throwing out that
it was. I think it was an energy clip for that other weapon.
Yeah, it was
Ahsoka handed it to her.
So we see more of the, I guess, a trust issue, if you call it that, where she's like, hey, if shit goes down, we may have to forget going to see Ezra and just blow up this map kind of thing. She's trying to let her know.
Prepare her for it. Yeah.
Kind of like how Ezra in his hologram that we saw in I think the first episode is like sometimes the Jedi have to do, the wrong thing for the right outcome. So in so many words, that's not exactly what he said, but similar to what Ahsoka's saying here. Like,
but no,
we might gotta break some shit to save.
That could be the other way around, though. Sabine could be looking at it as the wrong thing to do right now is to not destroy. Like the right thing to do is to destroy the map. And he's like, but to save the galaxy, we need Ezra. So the wrong thing to do would be to give the map over to Balin. That could be how she's thinking. Sabine.
And which is exactly what she ends up doing, correct?
Yeah.
But I don't think that was very predictable. So it was a lot, again, throughout this whole episode without knowing, the rumors and some potential leaks and stuff like that. This episode was pretty spoiler free for me. I was happy with it in that way too. That kind of like Baby Yoda, when Baby Yoda appeared, maybe I knew there was going to be a Baby Yoda, but it surprised the F out of me. And this episode was very much that too. And we got the return of Rock'em Sock'em robots in live action form. So this is badass right off the bat. Like after the little opening credits, we get, the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And I thought this was badass. He used his extra spider
little arms.
Yeah.
Poking him in the eyes with them. Yeah.
He even totally kind of like squints his eyes, like when he tries to look angry as a robot, where instead of round eyes, they go to like slots, and it was pretty cool. I really like what they're doing with these droids. And even the HK droids, I don't want the action figure, but it'd be pretty cool to see robots fight like this in real life, if I'm being honest. And I still don't know who these other alien creatures are, but they got cool blinky lights on them too, so that makes them
I don't
cool.
think we've seen them take the mask off yet, so I don't know if we know what they are.
Well, I think Ahsoka's literally taking his mask off right now with her lightsaber. And Sabine goes right to the blasters, which I thought was cool. It's the Mando in her coming out. The lightsaber wasn't the first weapon she pulled out. Of course, it was the blasters. And which makes me think, have we ever seen Sabine fire a blaster? Like, does she carry a blaster?
She had the two pistols in the cartoon a couple of times, used them, but not really like a blaster rifle kind of thing. No. She's always used those two pistols in the cartoon.
With my action figures, I'm trying to think, does Ahsoka have any blasters? Interesting. Because, Luke did, of course, and
no, I
trying
think
to think of any Jedi's offhand.
I don't know where the Ahsoka figure is. I had one right around, or the Sabine, but she did have two of the pistols in her, the Mandalorian pistols. But
So these guys totally have like a breathing apparatus, kind of like TIE fighter pilots,
yeah,
which is interesting. Like I'm really curious what these are. I don't think they're all green smoke. I
no,
think they
they're not
are
all.
obviously like some non-human
Yeah.
species.
I feel like I was supposed to know who the smoke was because I feel like we saw that. Didn't we see that when Yoda went to that evil place in the cartoon, in that smoke
Well, we've
creature?
definitely seen it several times in the cartoon.
The smoke creature attacked him.
Yes. In the cartoon, there's lots of like, it's like from the dead, so to speak, right? Like the witches. What's up, Brett?
But the dead witches ones had green smoke, didn't they? I'm saying there was a black smoke. There was a black smoke creature that attacked Yoda in that time when Yoda went to the planet and saw Darth Bane.
Yeah, that was actually very different, I think, than the green smoke, Sith witch stuff. I don't know what that was. That was like kind of like what's that one Inquisitor? Like his spirit is kind of locked in a cave or a temple somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Obi-Wan or someone went and killed him and killed his dead body.
Yeah, his dead thing. But did you notice that when the mist came out of Marok, when the black came out, the arms crushed, like they
imploded?
Yeah, it's almost like the thing imploded a little bit, So
yeah, it was weird, and the sound, I couldn't make a familiarity with the sound, but it's not like 1,000 people dying, or like there's a little bit of some kind of witchery going on. So, but maybe it is a familiar sound from the cartoons that I just don't recall because, again, I am old at 29. What's up, Mr. B?
I just thought I thought I was supposed to remember or recognize or feel something about that, but I don't.
Well, if we had those young kids here, Sir Eric.
Yeah, Eric or
and Ways of the Sith, they'd be like, listen off all these children's cartoon facts that you and me are getting wrong. But these aren't children's cartoon ships. These are grown up adult Star Wars spaceships. So these are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And we get to see a little bit more of more rebelling, so to speak. But yeah, so this is Home One, which is just badass, man. I love this ship. I like all these ships, but
this is cool. Look at that, right?
It's very cool. Like we get that magenta, X-wing kind of exhaust ports, which I think is badass. Yeah. We got a little rebel blue and white rebel blockade runner down here. They didn't show a lot of that.
Yeah.
One of the medical frigates up here. Yeah, so it's Star Wars. Like about every 3 minutes, something really Star Warsy happened, and I was extremely excited in this episode. The dialogue was good. It was good paced. Overall, there was lots of fights. We had lightsaber actions over more lightsaber actions because there's 2 fights going on at one time. Every time, like there was never a single white lightsaber battle until the very end. So I thought that was badass. But how safe is this? I thought I had a picture of a booty. I guess I missed it. Like I'm gonna go, on a mission, and it's just me and my son and his robot. Like we're an army.
Yeah.
But then she gets some friends.
Yep.
So the most famous Canadian X-wing pilot of all time.
Yeah.
Captain Carson Teva. Welcome. That was awesome. And his beard game is looking really strong.
Yeah, that was cool.
So obviously a little bit of time has passed since we last saw him and Zeb in the space bar. I guess a year, maybe not a year, but
I'm trying to think here. Someone said something about the kid's age. Like, so when Rebels ended, it was right before Rogue One, and then Star Wars.
Chat here.
So he was born. So he was probably born right before Star Wars, And I thought that Star Wars Empire and Jedi all happened within like 2 years or something. It's not.
Yeah, I
not
kind
that
of agree with Gilster here. I feel he was this age in the cartoon 10 years ago. So like when the Rebels cartoons ended, that was 10 years ago. And 10 years have passed. That's what I've read. Maybe it's shorter, I don't think it's longer, but I do think he shouldn't be so not infanty, but under 10 years old. He definitely should be a teenager, I think. So yeah, Gilster, good point. Like, but maybe they transition to an older version of this character within this series. Like, we don't know. We don't have a little bit of time jump.
But
Boba
what
Fett
I'm getting at is, wouldn't he only be 10 or 12 years old? And that kid could be 10 or 12.
Maybe if the one we saw in the cartoon was 2 years old.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
But I think he was speaking and walking, and I don't think. Well, again, this is space. It's not real people.
Yeah,
most 2-year-old boys aren't walking and talking, are they?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have children. So I don't know these things. When Marok died, it looked like green. Which
I didn't see any green. I didn't see any green on my screen. I've watched it 3 times so far. I thought it was black smoke.
Well, when we get to that slide, we'll see. But it was definitely the green magic with a K, as they call it. So yes, Malcolm Stevo, Mr. B. Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to the next. But yeah, it's nice. So separate of Captain Teva, this actor is one of the Mando stunt doubles. So he basically plays Mando 50% of the time, and that other dude with the dreadlocks, who's more of the acrobat kind of guy, he plays it probably the other 45% of the time, and then Pedro gets in there for 5% or for the voice. So yes, I think there's 5 of these X-wings. So we got Carson, we got this guy. Sorry, I didn't know his name. We got first black X-wing pilot that I could ever remember seeing. So yeah, rest in peace to this guy as well. And then we got a Rhodian. Oh, maybe this one. We got a.
What about the guy that crashed into the? Oh, he was an A-wing pilot. Sorry. Okay.
He's kind of green. He's kind of orange. He looks awesome in an X-wing suit, and the helmet being painted green. I thought it was awesome effect.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to this guy as well. And then we got some hot mama here. I don't know who this is, but I think she's the one who lived with Carson Teva after they all got blowed up. But I love these cockpit shots, even when Carson has the line, raise your S foils to attack formation.
I liked that.
Word for word from A New Hope. Awesomeness.
Except Jason ruined it. Why didn't he say, like, I got a bad feeling about this?
We'll get to that because I've only got 2 little things to complain about this episode, and that one line of dialogue was one of them.
Me too. I would say that too.
I think they just put the wrong cut in.
But they did.
I took this shot because I think we got 2 of these in this episode. The old Lucasfilm, screen wipe, which last episode was lacking. We didn't have any, and I encouraged. Well, I'm like, I want more of this, and it happened, and it was a perfect transition. So good check mark.
You need the Star Wars screen wipe, and
it's cool to see this ship so close to the planet now, as we see it's like in the atmosphere, so to speak. So she restarts her, Jedi Starfield whale map thingy, because I don't think there's an official word yet. And yeah, there's the ship. The ship is right there within plain view. Like it was planned all along when they built this rock formation on this planet. So that part weirds me out a little bit. Like, I know it's just pointing in the right direction, but I mean, isn't it pointing in the right direction even if you don't have the key? You still look through that circle in the rock. You're still looking in the same direction. But
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But it looks cool.
You're just like going a straight line, but you don't know how long to go in a straight line.
Yeah, Balin mentions we'll be lost in the middle of like space nowhere land if your calculations are not correct. So we've heard droids speak those terms before, because I guess they got to predetermine all your light speed and hyperspace lanes, or you'll run into planets and things if you go in a complete straight line, as we learned from the Kessel Run. So this droid's cool. I like that it's that brassy gold kind of color with 3 eyes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very Star Warsy.
I want
Everything
a whole
about this
set
bridge,
of action
this whole
figures.
bridge set, yeah, I think is very Star Warsy. The lights, the sounds. When we get to it, when they do eventually go to hyperspace or make that jump, fuck, it was badass, man. I thought it was just brilliant. Yeah, so I like this ship. The ship is a weird donut ship. I hope it gets a name and maybe like a little Hot Wheels car, because I
If they
might get
call it, they could call it Weird Donut Ship.
That's official. It's
Okay.
canon.
Yeah.
So this was pretty cool because it doesn't look like the stagecraft. It looks like an
They were out in
actual
the forest,
studio,
yeah.
or they put like 100 fake trees as opposed to just coming here to Vancouver and using real trees. You know, which would be cheaper.
I think they went and they're outside somewhere, aren't they?
No,
Or do you
this
think
was
they actually-
in the stage.
So
that's
they
what I
actually
heard.
built a bunch of fake trees, rather than just go outside. Okay.
Yeah, you know, those lightsabers are dangerous. But this is a cool, you know, shot by shot. We get, you know, their view, their point of view, and they're like, "Oh, what's her? Do you remember her line here? Shin Hati's line?
Which one? No, not at this point. No. What did she say?
She's like, "Oh, going somewhere?" You know, like just real casually kind of thing. It's kind of neat, and I like seeing Sabine in her helmet, like because she's not been in her helmet lots, but it doesn't last long. Like 3 seconds into her fight, she gets punched in the head and gets her helmet knocked off. But yeah, this I thought was, other than maybe being a little slower pace than episode, you know, Maul from the prequels. These were badass duels. I was so impressed with them because we haven't seen, this is the first lightsaber action we've seen in so many years. Like we barely had any of it in Mando, just Ahsoka a little bit, right? Fighting a chick with the sticky stick, and one little short fight with Mando.
Well, we had
That's
it in Kenobi, but you like to
the Kenobi duel with Vader. Sure, I guess I didn't include that one. That was pretty cool, but I actually thought this one was way better than that fight.
Yeah,
like,
no, these
as
have
cool
been
as
really
that
good.
was.
Yeah, these have been really good.
So far, I think it was the top lightsaber battle in Star Wars TV land, in my opinion.
I just do wonder why she didn't break out the other lightsaber at this point. You know what I mean? Like, but okay.
Yeah, that's right. That very final scene where the Ahsoka in the white robe kind of shows up to Sabine touching that mural. That is like apparently like a 10-year between the scene that happened 2 minutes before. So that's why I would think that the boy Jason would minimum be that age, 10 years. But I guess he is. He could just be a short 19-year-old kid. Like, yeah, the kill left on minorities, eh? Damn mouse company. Blame it on Kathleen Kennedy.
The comms that were jammed a few minutes ago suddenly worked. Yeah,
that was. I wonder what happened there. If that was just him fixing stuff on the ship, because those were incoming communications. It wasn't him sending out a call, but I'm assuming because it's space, they can like take recorded messages, and you can get a message that they might have sent an hour ago. I could be wrong. Maybe they can't, but I'm assuming that's the case. But yeah, Marok versus Ahsoka. And you mentioned earlier Ahsoka with the one lightsaber choice instead of two. And my comment was that was the style one of that Kenobi used. If there's, I don't know, multiple different Jedi fighting styles, she chose a different one. And she is holding her lightsaber backwards here. Yeah. But I think throughout every other fighting, she's holding it. Though. Yeah, she does a little bit more. At one point,
she puts it up over her head like that and switches the stance, But
when I saw this fight, when I saw this Marok character and the way he was taking his pose and lighting his dual blade and doing backflips and ninja kicks, all I saw was Ray Park and Darth Maul. That's all I saw.
Yeah.
I think it was done on purpose. Like he probably, if I went to watch episode 1 Maul now, he probably did the exact same spinning back kick move against Kenobi. So it's interesting. I wonder if that green smoke was, Maul's kind of
Essence.
zombie, essence, whatever you want
Or
to
her,
call it.
or his brother, Savage Opress.
Savage was oppressed as well.
Yeah.
But I just got the Ray Park vibes. Even though in the credits I read them, it's a different actor. It's Paul Stanley, I think, the guy from Kiss. I think that's the name of the actor.
It was like Paul Dini or something. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
But Shin Hati, she's badass, man. Cutting
Yeah.
trees down, saving the forest. And yeah, I think she knocked off Sabine's hat here at this point too. But this is awesome. Both fights, we get that distance, a little bit more perspective. And then here's Ahsoka two-hand and overhand the lightsaber while he's about to do the helicopter.
Yep.
Famous helicopter spin, right?
Boom, 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 boom.
It looks cool. It seems kind of pointless because I've never seen it work.
No, we've never seen it work.
Because, it was good back and forth. Because there was two lightsaber battles going on, and the music was, it wasn't that famous music from episode 1, but it was good. It was good music for lightsaber battles, and they were going back and forth between these two fights. And I thought it was badass, man. Like, because I didn't know the results. I didn't know if Sabine was going to take another poke to the belly, or if Shin Hati was going down, or if Ahsoka was going to lose an arm. Just something was going down.
Yeah.
But here's the green smoke essence of Marok.
It was black to me.
It is. It's the non-animated version of animated green smoke, I guess. He's trying to make it subtle at the same time, but yeah, like you said, it just kind of made a weird sucking sound, and he just kind of collapsed to the ground.
Yeah. I swear it looked like his arms collapsed, like they got imploded or something, but I don't know. It could have just been the sound.
And what was weird
that reason
he turned his lightsaber off before he died.
Yeah.
Like, why did he do that? Is he saving batteries?
I guess so. But like I just thought this was supposed to be the black junk that we saw, that black misty character that Yoda fought on the planet with Darth Bane, and when he went on his journey in like season 6 or something. So I thought it was one of those black misty things from that. And
I think if you go to your monitor and you turn the green way up, just maximize it 99 to a green, it'll look green.
Okay.
Then everyone will look green though. But yeah, I think I've got pretty good color vision. I watched it on my TV. I watched it on my IMAX.
I guess the other side of it,
kind of green.
I guess the other side of it is then if it's green and it's Dathomir witch magic that was keeping his essence alive.
Oh, absolutely.
Then he's not an Inquisitor. He's a Night Sister magic thing. And I thought earlier on they said he was a leftover agent of the Empire.
They absolutely did. StarWars.com database, it added him a couple of weeks back, maybe a month ago, that he was an ex-Sith Inquisitor hired by Morgan Elsbeth, for some dirty deeds. So canon, apparently he is.
Therefore not created by a Night Sister like Morgan, but if he has green smoke inside, that means a Night Sister created him.
Yes, no, I think we're gonna learn that still. Like watching Screen Crush this morning or this afternoon, he kind of mentioned that the Night Sisters, they can revive the dead in a way, like they did in the cartoons.
Yeah,
you see all the little green ghosts flying around,
exactly,
and stuff like that. But he also made a theory, I guess we'll call it, that maybe this guy was an actual Sith Inquisitor that was out hunting Balin and Shin Hati, and they captured him, killed him, and then because of the Sith magic, she was able to revive him for the purpose of just, and
he had to stay contained inside this armor, or else he would dissipate.
I guess, but it was just a theory he made that maybe he was hunting Balin and Shin, and they killed him and and revived him to use for their will. I don't know, like a Star
But the
Wars
armor,
puppet.
the armor is obviously some kind of containment unit, because as soon as she cuts the armor, the smoke can escape and he dies in a sense. So it's like,
Yeah, it was interesting. It
if
took a
he didn't
second or
have
two.
if he didn't have that containment suit, he would dissipate into the ether, into the universe, and just be dead. So
Yeah.
he couldn't sustain himself once he was cut, and that's why I
Yeah.
was like, it's also interesting that it imploded, because like it was keeping him pressurized in there, and then once it got a leak, it.
And I'm pretty sure to, like, of course, there's actual actor in there. It's not real. This isn't real people. This
Oh,
is
of course,
acting.
yeah.
So
There was
one
a
of my
stunt guy
screen
in
grabs when he was in the pilot, when he's piloting a ship in space, one of the screen grabs I grabbed, I literally could see eyeballs through two of the visors. Like, so that didn't really mean much to me. But I mean, that just means that, ILM didn't go erase his eyeballs if there's not really eyeballs under there. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the upper hand style, we see Dooku do it. We see Anakin do it a couple times. Like again, the two-handed, overhand grip, which is not common for Ahsoka. It was cool. Like she was
So Mr. B,
using every inch of power she had.
Mr. B collecting G-Force, when you stare at the screen right now, you actually see green.
It's partially green.
I see black. I don't know where the green's coming from.
Pantone 699.
I don't see any green. It's black. This screenshot shows black right there.
This episode was a pretty dark episode, unlike when they're inside some of these Mon Calamari cruisers. Everything's just pristine white. Andor wasn't dark, but they went to lots of concrete places and there wasn't lots of white stuff, so to speak. But yeah, Marok, rest in peace, Marok. Your Marok theories suck, apparently.
Yeah.
And this actress, intense. Her face acting, whatever the word for face acting is, she did it, man. She's the best in this series for
see that lightsaber?
Expressions in her eyes.
That's green. The lightsaber's green. See that?
Yes,
is
it is.
green. That's a different color than the one we just saw in that last screen. The
And
last
her armor is
black,
cool. Like,
green.
I wonder if anyone is going to recognize this armor from a certain timeline or character that we might
I'm
know of.
fascinated that she's got the armor on the waist as well. Those two plates coming down the side. I think that's
cool. Wrist gauntlets, kind of like Sabine does. I don't know if they have any powers, but they have little lights on them. Everyone's got little lights on their stuff.
Yeah,
but I like it's kind of got like real stitching on the back. Like.
Well, did you notice that Balin has that too, and they almost look like spinal cord
totally like
on
leather.
Their back? Yeah,
like
it's pretty cool.
Animal hide, maybe it's bantha hide or something. But yeah,
maybe I don't know.
They got wicked costumes by far.
Yeah,
the
they're
best
good.
I've seen.
I just liked her intensity. I thought it was cool. I really liked Shin in this one. I thought it was great.
I like this character a lot now. Like even her little hip armor.
That's what I'm talking about. The hip
Sabine
armor
is the one character I know of that had that similar hip armor, right? Not Sabine, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Interesting. And the shin armor as well. Knee pads.
Yeah, she's one of the first that's really had almost like a medieval armored suit. You know what I mean? Like it's in patches. You know what I mean? I
totally thought today they would reveal her figure and Balin's figure, but I guess that's the next Taco Tuesday or whatever they call it. Because today they only announced that carbonized 2-pack, which we kind of knew about just because it was listed on Amazon 3 weeks ago. But this is a great shot. Like, I thought this is one of the better snap grabs that I got from this episode. I just liked the armor and the way these chicks are fighting.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
But my standout character is definitely Balin. And again, you see the medieval style, stitching and the hem and like the fake leather, whatever you want to call it. Just so it's a badass looking character, man. What's going on, Dagon? Welcome. Hopefully we're not spoiling the show for anyone. like
But
Dino.
I do wonder why all the Jedi that seem to live, like they keep on bringing back all these Jedi that lived, and like other than Ahsoka, they're all like humans. I'm like, why can't we get like a Rhodian Jedi that lived, or a Hammerhead
Hammerhead Jedi. Come on.
that lived, or
He's
something?
in all the cartoons, isn't he?
You know? Yeah, yeah.
Maybe John's prescription glasses ran out. But we have some of the, well, not the only dialogue, but definitely the strongest dialogue from Ray Stevenson in this series so far. Maybe as with Ahsoka as well, because of the consequences and what they're talking about. But first thing out of his mouth is, Anakin spoke highly of you. Very first thing out of his mouth. And we kind of heard that in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, at least heard the line.
Get right into it. And then she's like, funny, I've never heard him talk about you. So I wonder if she knows his name at this point, because I don't think she does know his name. She just knows this is a guy with gray hair and a black robe and a red saber.
Yeah.
Same with Shin Hati. Like, does she know her name? Oh, no. So the robot did say Balin Skull when he was IDing the lightsaber hilts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, again, like if Sabine used a blaster, if Ahsoka used a blaster, she probably could have snuck a shot in before he sensed her presence, but maybe not. Maybe his power and the force.
Oh, he would have just went king and stopped that blaster bolt.
But yeah, now we're just getting into the nitty gritty good shit here. Right away, boom, dropping the robe, like the droid does, and then Ahsoka follows up with the same move. Like, I'm gonna also drop my robe because now it's dueling time. But again, I think they just forgot to erase these stage lights in the back here, because my only small little thing I'm not liking.
And they're gone later on. Do you notice that?
Because they packed them up and brought them with them.
Oh,
but the lighting didn't change.
Okay.
They packed up the lights, and the lighting was still the same. So they didn't even need the lights because it's not midnight. So I don't get it, man. Why is this little crate here? To power those lights, right?
Sure.
Because it has nothing to do with the key or the rocks,
no,
or the holograms we're seeing, because that's all
built
holograms,
in.
all magic.
Yeah, it's built in.
And then here's like another piece of the stage. This is like the on-off button for the stagecraft set. It looks badass. Don't get me wrong.
To me, that looks like a parking meter.
Or one of those viewfinders on the top of the New York State building.
Yeah, there you go. That thing.
Put your quarters in. But yeah, again, with the wicked two-handed grip, blinky lights on his gloves, which got to mean something. And he's also wearing, apparently, a black obsidian ring. Which other character do you know of wore a black obsidian ring?
Snoke.
What's also weird is who wears a ring over their freaking gloves?
Gloves, yeah.
Unless it's a special power.
Who the hell noticed there was a ring on his hand? I would never have noticed that.
That would be Left Coast Theories.
How did you even notice it? Were you zoomed into everything?
Actually, I noticed it in a previous episode. Yeah, I can't zoom out now. Can I zoom out? But yeah, originally when I saw this, this big lighted up hologram map thing, I thought this might have been like the world between worlds. We did see it in animation form, but we really didn't know, what the live action translation would be. They actually nailed it. It came pretty close.
Yeah.
I loved all the blinky lighty things. They all reminded me of original Star Wars graphics. We see some familiar, geometry and shapes and stuff. I thought this is all very cool, all very Star Warsy. And in the meantime, Sabine is still fighting Shin Hati, helmetless. And what we later find out is she actually forgets her helmet behind.
I don't know why, yeah.
Because she remembered to grab her lightsaber. And then here might be like a part where people might have some different opinions and thoughts of what happens here. We see this clip quickly in one of the trailers where she's either trying to use the Force, using the Force, or, defending from a lightsaber blaster to the face, or, you know what I mean? Like defending herself. And some people thought that she did like a Force slap, and maybe she did. I
thought she did. Yeah.
I just thought Shin Hati was reacting like, oh, you're about to use the Force on me. And then she realized, wait, you don't have the Force. You can't do nothing.
I think it was just I think it was just like she felt how weak it was, and
just like a little baby Force push.
Because there was also something that flew off. Like when she turned her head from that Force slap, something flew off. Like I don't know what it was, or piece of armor or something, but
I don't know. It's because she's doing such good face acting. Something obviously happened. Like whether it was just her reacting, like a flinch. That's the word I'm looking for. I think she just flinched. But maybe Sabine did.
Why would she flinch? It doesn't make any sense.
She does think that this character maybe has the Force, right? She's still alive, for crying out loud, and she killed her once already. But she didn't. She just stabbed her in the belly and she lived. So maybe she does think Sabine has Force powers, and maybe she can sense it as a Force wielder herself. I would think, can sense. Oh wait, that guy right there has got the Force. I can smell it. I can smell it.
I just thought it was like a very weak one, and the reason that she said you have no power is because she, like, as soon as she did it, she no longer had any more power to do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like
she drained the Force tank.
Like you can't use your power. Like you have no power. Like it's like she was just like insulting her in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like
G-Force is thinking, and it's a great thought too, that Shin Hati will realize and go towards the light side as opposed to the dark side path she's on. I think it's very possible. We don't really know hers and Balin's overall goal besides maybe getting into that world between worlds to learn the future or change the past or something to that matter, because I think it has everything to do with the world between worlds and nothing else. I don't know.
For those two,
I'm thinking more and more.
For Balin and Shin, that's what they want, is to get the power to be able to go anywhere in time and space.
Because I think that's a big power, right? I think
that would be a major power.
Could be wrong. Like maybe, going to. I don't know.
I just don't. All right, so people are still saying she flinched. If you were in a fight with somebody and I went like this, why would you flinch that much? She turned her entire head and body away.
Well, because she might have been.
Because when you actually see a Jedi or a Sith get hit with that Force push, they don't flinch. You never saw Shin flinch or anyone else flinch before when someone tried to use a Force power push on them. You know what I mean?
You usually hear it like there's like
something.
You did. You're right. That's why I think that he was kind of giving us that hint of Force. But I've seen a couple.
But it was so weak and so.
Like Screen Crush said she was using the dark side to do that, and I'm like,
I don't think so.
How would you determine that?
No, that's ridiculous.
And he also said Ahsoka, when Ahsoka, fish slapped Satine against that rock wall later, that she used the dark side to do that, and I'm like,
no, that doesn't.
Well, I think the Force does it either way.
You do it, and it doesn't have to be.
We could all be wrong. It could only be dark side that does Force pushing, but I don't think right.
So. Yeah. I mean, if anything was a dark side power, it would be the manipulation of the mind that Obi-Wan always used.
Because you're like up to no good, right?
Yeah, because you're up to no good. Exactly.
But I still think if anyone's turning, it's Sabine, and I think they have hinted towards it more than once. She keeps messing up. Here, bad guy. Here's the key to create a new Star Wars.
The thing is, though, is that at this point, it's kind of like. At this point, it's kind of like. Does it? I mean, like. even if you did agree to work with say Balin and Shin, like say Sabine agrees to work with them, does that necessarily mean that you've turned dark side and you're totally evil? I don't think so. I
No,
don't.
but I think Balin, like we haven't got to there yet, but he started to open up to Sabine. He like turned off his lightsaber and he's like, he kind of read her mind. He's like, oh, Ezra, you want to meet that? Like, so he's got, he's strong that way.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna say, I'm your father, because he was about to drop a bunch of knowledge about her family, as we'll get to in a minute here. But two for flinching, yeah,
he knows. He
I'm
knew
50-50 now. Like, I was 100% thinking it was just a flinch, but after watching it, several times now, and knowing that there was a little wapia, a little sound there, wapia, that maybe she did like throw a leaf at her or something.
Wapia.
Wapia, that's from that game Bad Dudes.
Yeah.
We're back.
But I do think that like Balin read her and like knew that she had no family left in a sense, and then and to her it's like Ezra's her last brother or family, like on this, you know what I mean? Because
for sure, because I don't think
those crew,
I don't think he just had the knowledge of who Sabine was or Hera or
no.
Like, I don't think he knows. I think because
he read that mind trick or something.
You saw him close his eyes and
yeah,
and then speak to her, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
She very well could be, because I think in the cartoons she did a similar. I think she did do a successful force push at one time against Ezra or Kanan when they were fighting with sticks or dark sabers. I could be wrong, but again, I'm watching so many damn other people's videos that they all say different things are canon, and they both can't be right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight was great, man. I thought both of them using the two-handed lightsaber blows was very effective.
But to me, it looked clear that I don't think Ahsoka could have beat him. Even right from the beginning.
Not at all.
Even right from the beginning, I was like, this guy's way stronger than Ahsoka.
I think possibly Ahsoka and Sabine, both with lightsabers battling, I think could have defeated him. Like, say,
if one distracts him,
been defeated, and then Sabine was there to help Ahsoka, I think for sure the possibilities are 200% higher, because I don't think Ahsoka had a good fighting chance, but as we see, circumstances changed, her fighting style, and she had to switch to one hand only. Hey, Milky Way, how you doing? She had to switch to the one-handed style after burning her hand on Indiana Jones Covenant thing or whatever.
Yeah, that was weird.
But yeah, you see the foot to the wall trick move here?
Yeah.
That trick always works.
She spins over him here, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think it turned into a little back flippy thing.
Yeah, like a flippy thing. Yeah.
But yeah, just again, his facial expressions as well as Shin Hati's were just the best. Here, you can see his ring a little better here too. It's a little cleaner. Like Snoke's, I think, is much rougher. This is more like a good square shape.
Huh.
So yeah, that means something. Like, why does he need blinky lights on his hands? Does he have robot hands like Anakin? Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
Why does Ahsoka have blinky lights on her forearms, or does she? But so Sabine remembers to get the lightsaber, but she didn't remember to get her helmet for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why she left her helmet. I would have grabbed both. I also at first assumed she grabbed both. I thought, okay, they're showing her getting her gear, and all they really showed was her pick up the lightsaber. But she obviously must have went and got the helmet also. But then when she shows up later, she doesn't have the helmet. So I'm like, oh.
Not at all.
So
and I also don't understand right from the get-go why she doesn't have a Mandalorian backpack. Is that something she gave up in the cartoons? Like I don't need my jetpack no more. Like, Mandos can fly. So why doesn't she use a jetpack to fly away with the key or something?
And that would have been cool to have her fight with the lightsaber and a jetpack, like to get some of those moves in. You could do some cool moves.
Just an observation. Like, we all know she flies around with jetpacks in the cartoons, right?
Yeah, she does.
I don't recall her donating it to charity or it getting blown up. But I could be wrong. Maybe it got blown up real good.
She did send it to the Goodwill at the end.
Yeah, and Vern bought it for $5, I bet.
Yep. And he modified it and put it on someone else's head.
And I'm pretty sure, based on her expression here, is where she sees a Shin Hati walk up all badass. And she's like, oh, damn, Sabine. That must mean Sabine's dead.
Yeah, or hurt.
Of course, we as viewers didn't know. We knew Sabine wasn't dead, but, Ahsoka didn't, right? Just seeing the one bad chick show up. Hey, Kat, welcome.
Hello, Kat.
Never be sorry. Get even. So does she have to channel the dark side in order to do what she's going to do next, which is do the old Dino protein pancake flip to Shin Hati against the big rock?
I don't
She
think
smashed
so.
her, man. Like, it looked like she went head first into that rock. And
I think the only reason someone might suggest that she tapped into a dark side thing is just because this was done out of like anger, and you know what I mean. But I mean,
so I understand that theory, John, about that's why we see Anakin. Like, did Anakin turn to the dark side and use dark side powers, so to speak, when he went and killed all those Tuskens, or was he just a bad Jedi doing bad things? Because Jedi have a code, and which the Sith don't really have a code. So is a Jedi code not to do the Joey Batista bat flip to your foes? I don't know. Like, I'm assuming you can use any power you can.
Because you could argue that stabbing them and killing them is dark side. Then,
of course, cutting them all in half.
Yeah, But I don't. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that if you do something considered negative by using the Force, it means you're instantly a darksider and you're now doomed to go down the path of the dark side and become an evil person that wants to take over the whole galaxy. Like, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, as we know from the Mando season 2.5, or maybe it was Book of Boba Fett, all those Mando jetpacks run out of fuel after like 1 mile, which is kind of weird. But Inquisitors can fly too with their lightsabers, so it would have been a cool fight to see a flying Sabine against a helicopter flying Marok. And why just one Inquisitor? Why not have like 6 of them if they know they got to go kill like the last of the Jedis, the threat to their pathway finders kind of thing, right? Yeah, it's like I said, it's probably been destroyed, and I just haven't memorized all the cartoons. It's neat to. I'm sure she'll have a jetpack before this 8 episodes is up, in my opinion. So it's almost time, guys. It's almost time for one of the greatest moments in all live action Star Wars history to happen. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was fate. I dreamed it every night for many, many years since Little Snips was created by Filoni. But see her hand here? It's not time yet. Not yet. See her hand here? How it's maybe? Do you think it's scarred like Tote from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and she'll be able to use her now scarred orange skin to find Ezra and Sabine?
Yeah, it could be.
Because it's still glowing hot.
But she'll only have half the map, though. She won't be able to take away the 2 feet for.
Yeah, it'll be very one-dimensional. But yeah, so she's down to fighting with one hand now because her left hand is effed up.
She doesn't need that map anyways, because she can just step through a portal and end up in Pangea or whatever the hell that place is.
You mean Jedi Heaven, where she is now? Oh, where's the picture? Oh man, this is out of order.
You had a picture of her falling off.
Okay, somehow it's switched out of order. So this happens before we see Sabine. She's holding up her hand, like, as we do see, she does try to use the Force, but it doesn't work. So that confused me a little bit. Like, why wasn't she able to use the Force and push him away like she did with Shin Hati a minute ago? Do you know what I mean? Or block a lightsaber blow which we've seen Jedis do, block lightsaber blows by, and Kylo
Yeah, they
Ren
just
stop
Yeah.
blasters in midair. Like,
yeah.
so Ahsoka's not that powerful then, is
No,
what I'm getting
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. She was
Potentially-
over. This guy would have, no matter what. I don't think she could have ever defeated this guy, burnt hand or not. I think this guy was way more powerful than her. Sabine showed up to see this, so remember.
And
So
just a
they were
moment
in the
of
right
silence,
order.
a
You
moment
had
of
the
silence
pictures in the right order.
for the death of Ahsoka. Rest in peace, Ahsoka. Quiet, silence. So yes, the best scene ever in live action Star Wars: Ahsoka getting her ass kicked off a cliff, 300 style, to her death. Ahsoka is now fish food, canon confirmed. Until the next scene where she's not fish food, frickin' Filoni verse. But yes, the scene goes on because Ahsoka's now dead. She couldn't defend herself, and Balin kicked her off the cliff. Sabine shows up a little too late, I guess. Why she didn't fire the blasters, I don't know. Like, she obviously couldn't stop him because she yelled no, like Luke and Darth Vader style. They had to, it rhymes, which is cool. I love that. But how badass is this character Balin? Just blocking. She must have took like 20 shots at him with two-handed style, like,
Yeah.
and he blocked every single one of them. He didn't deflect them back to kill her, which we see Darth Vader and other Jedis and Anakin do. Like, every single laser blast would deflect to good purpose.
Even
Same with
Luke,
Mace
even
Windu.
Luke did it.
Even Luke did it. Exactly.
Endor,
They would deflect those perfectly to their advantage, right? You
yeah.
can see that here, but I guess he didn't want her to die.
No,
Is my
he didn't.
is my opinion. Like he just killed Ahsoka. But yeah, then she's just threatening to blow up the device, right? And we get that moment where I did, for a quick second there, I actually did think he was gonna bounce something out there, like, "Oh, Sabine, you don't know about your family," and I'm like, "Oh snap, he's gonna, I'm Uncle Skull. Don't you remember me? I'm your uncle."
Yeah.
But he didn't disclose anything like that. He said that her family all died on Mandalore. So do you think that's true? Or do you think he's misleading her to think her family's dead? Because we didn't see her in the Mando, unless, not her, but we didn't see the white and yellow Mandos reunited on Mandalore with,
No,
both.
I think her family's dead. Yeah, her family's dead.
What's going on? Do you know? So you think for sure? Because I kind of think, because in the cartoons, I rewatched one of these episodes last week because that Screen Crush guy brought up Tristan Wren, which is Sabine's younger brother. He kind of took off. And, they had brothers and sisters didn't get along or whatever. They had differences, and we don't know if he died or not. And then the Screen Crush
I just meant like I think
he
that
totally created the Knights of Ren. So I'm like, boom, he just pulled that out of his hat. And I'm like, well, but why couldn't he have? Like, we have no history or backstories to Knights of Ren. So I thought, wow, that's a cool, theory that he just came up with. So I wonder if her family is still alive in any way. It'd be interesting.
I just thought like the mother, father, and her brother, her older brother there were all dead. Yeah, but you're right. If she had a younger sibling, they could still be around. And
we only know of like a mother, a father, and a brother. I don't know if she had a sister, but I think they would have spoke of her. Yeah, so I'm curious. I think the only way, I don't think anyone in the Republic, so to speak, including Ahsoka, is going on a journey to that other galaxy at this point. I think maybe they're coming here, right?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
They'll pick up Thrawn and Ezra and come right back. Yeah, I don't think they're going to... I don't see why they would sit over there. What's their point?
Well, I don't think they care about Ezra, unless Ezra is like Thrawn's right-hand man now. Like,
that's what I think you're going to find out. If Ezra and Thrawn are working together, because And that's what's going to shock Sabine, when she gets there, because I still think that there's something bigger than Thrawn that is the threat. And
I do too, because I don't only picture
and
Thrawn as an evil villain. I
yeah,
picture
in
him
all
as
in
a
all of
foe.
them, the Republic and Thrawn and the remnants of the Empire, like all of them are going to have to fight and come together to stop whatever the bigger threat is. That's
Yeah,
and Ezra's already on board.
Rolando made a point. We all kind of know, I guess officially, Ahsoka did not officially complete her Jedi training, so she never got the Jedi Master, pin badge from Master Yoda or whatever. But I'm assuming she still channeled every possible definition of the powers involved, but maybe not. Maybe like Kenobi had to teach Qui-Gon and Anakin. They all had to learn a way to become a Force ghost in a way. So there is always another level, I guess. But yeah, I'm surprised there's no more Force pushing.
We don't see a lot of Jedi in Star Wars actually learn anything. I mean, like Luke jumped around for 2 weeks on Dagobah and did some flips and lifted a couple stones, and somehow he became the greatest Jedi that ever was. Like Luke didn't have any training at all. You can't just run around a Force for 2 weeks and suddenly become the best Jedi ever.
No, not at all. Because I'm assuming that only a short amount of time has gone by, and her lightsaber wound is fully healed. Don't have to change any dressing or band-aids or nothing, because
they put Bacta on it.
Oh yeah, space Bacta.
Yeah,
medicine.
Yeah,
Dino fell asleep. Should we tell him about how it ends, where Hammerhead shows up in the afterlife?
Yeah.
Spoiler, Dino, Hammerhead lives.
It's all about Hammerhead.
Yeah, Baylan knows some stuff. I just want him to teach us all the stuff so we know everything about Baylan, because by far my favorite character so far. And I just wonder, man, like, it's so sad he has passed, as we all know, but did they have some plans for him? Like,
I think they did. I don't think he.
Can you imagine? Like, oh man.
I still don't think him or Shin dies. I think that we're gonna. I think they didn't plan on killing anybody else in this entire season, and if any of them die, it would be later on. But now, you've got the unfortunate thing where Rey's passed away. So, how are they gonna write off the character? You know what I mean?
Rolando, I totally thought that words like that were about to come out of his mouth, like. Because it rhymes, right? Like we see lots in this episode. He's like, you don't know what happened to your family, and I'm like, wait, who else has said? We've heard those exact words in Star Wars. The next words are, I think it was Kenobi that said that, and then he lied. So,
yeah,
Baylan could be lying just like Kenobi, and boom, I have a quick one. I got a quick one just because.
Rick has got a crazy theory. Rick has got a crazy theory. Rick has got a.
Baylan's skull is Obi-2 Kenobi, Obi-Wan's long lost brother.
Nice.
What do you think of that?
Okay.
Now that I said that, I'm just thinking about the age. Ben talked about a younger brother. So, and Kenobi, he died in A New Hope. 30 years go by, so he would have been like, let's say 100, because he was old, 680. So yeah, and Baylan's gray-haired, and he's not 70, but he's older. But I wonder, man. It's a fun little theory. I like having theories.
Yeah, G-Force, I was just going to bring that up. I think Yoda, that is true. I think Yoda said it. Yoda in the council said, we realize now this was your trial after she walked away and had all that stuff she had to do with Barriss. But
much like Anakin, he was never granted the title of master either.
So they were going to turn her into a Jedi Knight. They were going to say this was your trial to knighthood.
That's right.
Now,
Yep.
if Ahsoka rejoined the Order, she would be a Jedi Knight. But she didn't rejoin the Order, so she walked away still and never really had that title bestowed upon her.
Yeah, I think Balin wants to go back, want to get back in time, Huey Lewis style, and ride with Doc Brown from the Mando show and go save his brother from dying from Darth Vader. He could care less about saving Anakin. He wants to save his brother, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he is Obi-2 Kenobi.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, they didn't create Ben Kenobi's brother, you know what I mean, in dialogue for no reason. It wasn't just a throwaway line. Like I had pizza for dinner last night. Like, it's not relevant to the story. Kenobi told Princess Leia as a little child, "Oh, I remember having a brother once." That's my Obi-Wan Kenobi accent.
But I think it's always important when you have pizza, Rick. So
yes, because that explains, the acid reflux and the crumbs in my beard. Can't believe none of you guys noticed I trimmed like 4 inches off my beard at the barber yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Made a huge mess on the floor. We had to call the city.
So you're coming into my length?
A little bit, man. I was getting to my belt. If I was sitting all slouchy on the couch, it got caught in my.
You know what the weirdest thing about growing it out is when you pick up a bowl of cereal and your beard goes into the bowl. Oh crap! you try to eat it like this.
I'm not gonna lie, John, I have not had a bowl of cereal in many, many years, and I crave it now. So he agrees. Sabine gives him the key, and he agrees. Hey, we're not gonna hurt you, man. I'm not gonna, what do you say? Abandon you like your former Jedi Master. So as he worded it, Ahsoka abandoned her in the training, and he also called Ahsoka her former master. So does that mean that
I took
Balin
it as
will be her new master?
I took it as Balin was
implying
that I'm your new master. Yeah.
And that Ahsoka is dead. Me too.
Yeah, and Ahsoka's dead, yes.
So now here's the scene where these aliens, they've packed up all those stagecraft lights. Like,
yeah.
Why did they need those lights? They did no purpose.
They bought them. If you spent good money on these lights, you would pack them up and take them with you.
But I mean, they didn't need the illumination. Like, it
looks the same. Yeah.
So, and were these guys dismantling the lights while he was fighting Ahsoka?
Oh, they were. Yeah. No, yeah, they were packing.
They paid no mind.
They were just putting everything away. Yeah. We got to pack. We got time to watch these two do whatever they're doing. We got to pack this shit up.
I noticed Balin's got a cool belt buckle. I hope we get a clear shot of that with some images in the near future. Future.
Yeah.
And there's no more shortcuts with this key. If Ahsoka and the Rebel crew are going to try and use it, it's now not possible.
Well, Ahsoka doesn't need to use it. She can just step through the time beyond time portals.
Yeah, but can she bring the Rebels crew with her?
No, because she doesn't need to. They're going to come back to this area. They're not going to sit over in Pangea.
I guess so. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, so we're knowing that this device, this artifact, is thousands and thousands of years old, right? That's kind of been said that, like that's been implied. So okay, so it's a pretty valuable artifact to do that. I wonder if this was ever in the collection of a certain character in Andor. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we go back and watch Andor now, are we going to see this sitting on the shelf there because that happened like 40 years ago? Interesting. I wonder if this comes into play in Andor. Because how was it discovered? Who found it? I mean, I can't remember. Like an hour ago. Ahsoka found it in
the first episode. Yeah.
Then so we're led to believe that that's been there thousands of years. Okay, so
sure, yeah.
But he doesn't have it in Andor. Just a thought. But yeah, we see the atmosphere of this donut hyperspace ship now, which is pretty cool. Like, we kind of already know the dimensions and the size of it because of how small that little viewing room up top is. And I was telling John before the show, this is the coolest droid I've seen in a long time. It totally reminds me of the Death Star gunner.
We need that droid. Yeah.
We do. Let's get on it, Hasbro. Or all you 3D print artists, get her done. And look how happy she is. Like that evil grin. With Sabine in the handcuffs, again, she is, I guess, a prisoner at this point. They've confiscated her lightsaber. We kind of are led to believe she forgot her helmet on that planet because we don't see it. And I don't think they would have grabbed it for her. So here's a silly left coast theory. Hera will grab Sabine's helmet next episode. Because I'm pretty confident that the ghost will land on this planet because we do see like there's only like one scene left from all the trailers, one or two scenes that we haven't seen yet. Thrawn on the bridge of this donut ship, and Hera with a blaster in her hand walking out of the ghost on that red tree planet. So we know Hera at some point is on that planet, and we're assuming leaves her kid on the cockpit, as all good parents would do. But this is a cool shot. We get to see the X-Wings again before three of them go bye-bye.
Two of them. One of them's just dismantled in space.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think one crash landed on a planet. Maybe they go save her, which would be cool.
Do you have us on or something? Why are we suddenly echoing?
I don't hear an echo.
Oh,
do
right.
People in chat hear an echo?
It's gone now.
Okay, that was the Force, I think.
Okay,
they were communicating with us. Like, hurry up. Okay, so the rebels, Hera and Son and Captain Paul. That's not Paul Teva. Captain Teva show up with his little what they call this squadron? They called it I can't remember now, but it was a cool name. It wasn't Rogue Squadron, it was something else squadron.
Grocery store squadron?
That's exactly it. It was Kim's Convenience Squadron.
Yeah.
From Canada, good Canadian X-Wing pilot, one of the best. So we have another little booty shot, but that cool, off the light speed look in the windshield. So yeah, they succeeded. This was very much like I don't want to compare it to Empire Strikes Back, but it was a lot like that in the way where it was an action-filled episode, and we were left with a little bit of a cliffhanger here, right? Again, cool graphics, man. Right through. Don't even worry about that ghost. Just go. They should have all blown up, if you ask me. Like something that big going through hyperspace. Didn't Captain Holdo
she cut a ship in half? Yeah.
By doing that, so I'm surprised but that's what you get for having a donut ship. There's a big hole in the middle.
Yes. So the ghost went through the ghost went through the hole in the middle, but in the confusion and the electricity, two of those X-Wings crashed into each other.
Yeah.
And then the third one caught on fire, but we didn't see it actually explode or anything. So I think it's dead in space somewhere and they can go rescue the pilot.
That's a cool shot, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do totally think that. Why not? Have the one. And I think it for sure, the Greedo guy and the black guy died. So maybe the Mando stunt actor lives, or maybe that female X-Wing pilot lives. It would be cool if they go down the planet and save them. I predict Ahsoka will be in an episode of Mandalorian. She'll be looking for Thrawn. Shut up, Dino. Go back and rewatch. Go feed the ducks. I think Anakin will turn into Vader and go after Ahsoka. Yeah, we're about to get to that. I have my quick theories there. So let's go back to that. I thought that was a cool shot. And then here I only see 2 X-Wings and a ghost.
Yeah.
But I might have missed it. Maybe there is a third, but
he's disabled and floating around somewhere. He's okay.
And then I don't think Dave Filoni broke Star Wars here. I just think he messed up in the editing room or something. Because Jason says, I think I have a bad feeling. And that's not how Star Wars works.
He should have said, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah.
Word for word.
Yeah.
Luke said it. Leia said it. Han said it.
Everyone says
people.
It. Yeah.
I think Ray said it. Finn said it.
Everyone says that.
K2SO said it.
It's a Star Wars thing. It's supposed to be said. Yeah.
So that would have made me like fist in the air. I'm not kidding. I would have fisted in the air for him to say that line, because he's still a young character to me. He's not no way influencing me, or I don't got a lot of love for him for any reason other than he's Hera's son, and he's Karen Janus. Dead. His dad's dead. I forget his name. Kanan Jarrus keeps changing his name. So I don't know. That was my one little. Besides those stagecraft lights, whether they were needed or not, those are silly. They weren't as bad as the lawn chair in Andor. For sure, not as bad as the lawn chair in Andor.
Still going on about that.
Phoenix Squadron. That's what it was called. And it was perfect because the Phoenix is the Rebels logo and Sabine's logo. And also, do you think Sabine got paid to make the Rebellion's logo?
That could be, yeah.
I think she gets some.
But
some of those
what's really cool about because they used Phoenix Squad and Rebels a couple times.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, when and I never got an answer, but I tweeted to Dave Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo and those guys a number of times, because like after every episode when they would mention Phoenix Squadron, there's a point in Star Wars where you hear over the radio, like the original Star Wars, even the original version, it's not like they edited this afterwards. It was in the original version, where over the radio when Luke and them are all getting on the X-Wings and stuff going to fight the Death Star, they call over the radio. They're like, Phoenix Squad, report to the hangar. Phoenix Squadron, report to the hangar. And I was like, is that why you named these guys Phoenix Squad? And they never answered. They never would answer.
Well, I think you made a good point there, and you might have just we might have just helped us all realize something, that maybe it is the same squadron. Like, you know what I mean? That maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people have died in space battles, in the wars. As Red 5, it was someone else before Luke, as we learned, right?
Yeah.
And I think in Rogue One or Andor, the original Red 5 gets blown to bits. And then Luke takes over that call sign later on in the future. So, again, the droid's by himself on his planet, all by his lonesome. Like, no one bothered to tell him what was going on. They got all these communicators and blinky lights on their belts and their wrists, and they can't.
Yeah, no one
Ahsoka
bothered
can't
to
tell him, "I'm dead, sucker."
Well,
but I remember in the cartoons, this little chest circle thing here, he could open that up like an aspirin bottle, and he put in all the young Jedi's kyber crystals into his chest. So I wondered, there's a bunch of cool kyber crystals inside there.
In his chest?
Yeah, because it's like a little glove compartment box in his chest for kyber crystals. So see this big ass rock here? That's where Ahsoka landed.
Oh, she landed on that rock?
But her right there. You can
her squished body parts aren't there. No, her squished
they are. If I zoom in, you can see her green blood.
No,
I don't know. What color is Ahsoka's blood?
Purple.
And she's upside down too, which confirms she's totally in bizarro upside down world, right? Or is that? Oh no, they call it the world between worlds.
I don't know.
And I thought it looked good, like, because I know what it looked like in the cartoons. It was this nice, blue teal color, which is associated to Ahsoka because she's got that in her skin and her head tails thing. It looked good. I thought it looked very much like we might have thought it would look like in a live action. We get no hint of it in the trailers, so we all just kind of guessed and assumed and realized, oh, for sure Dave Filoni's going to bring that into live action, and he did. It was a ballsy move, and we'll see if it pays off or not. Like, other than the little cameo we get here, we'll see if it was a good move to go to this kind of alter realm reality, whatever the word is. Like, is it Jedi heaven? Like,
well, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is this where Force ghosts live?
Good point. Like,
so it's not necessarily Jedi. It's not necessarily Jedi heaven, but it's like, if you are learned enough in the Force, you can go to this realm instead of going to to Jedi heaven or Sith hell, and
Or
this
Sith
is like
hell.
this
But
is
Sith
the
obviously go to the same heaven, though. Well, I
this is
guess because
the
Anakin was redeemed.
yeah this is the
No, because Vader.
realm. This is the realm you can go to if you can consciously transform yourself into a Force ghost and keep your consciousness together inside the Force, because
And
this is how they can look in every like window and see the stuff that's happening throughout all
Yeah,
of
yeah, no,
time and all
it's
of time
neat
and
for that.
space, and then
It's cool for that.
how they can form a Force ghost at some point in time. It's like their essence can peer through that portal. And
And I
Ahsoka's
don't
the
think
only
it's
one who's
just
come
Jedi
through.
users, because we see Vader. Ahsoka fights Vader in the world between worlds, and Vader is not a Jedi, right? He's a Sith.
Where
So
did we see that?
Sith in the cartoons, she fought Vader. She cut up his mask. Remember?
But not in the world between worlds. That was on the temple.
Was it okay? Well,
Yeah,
I think
he
Vader
Ezra.
was about to kill Ahsoka.
Yeah, and Ezra grabbed her and pulled her in. Yeah,
okay, that's
to
what
this
happened.
area. Yeah.
So Angelina's seeing. I hope Anakin and Ahsoka hug this time. I think the only hugging going on is a little throat hugging. But I don't think this is Anakin. I'm sorry to disappoint all you Ahsoka lovers and Rebels, Clone Wars lovers, all that stuff. But because Anakin does not have an all black lightsaber
Yeah,
with a
this is
silver
not.
clamp.
This is
This is-
not Vader's lightsaber or Anakin's lightsaber. No, this is a
He
totally
does
different.
have the glove over, Anakin's
Yeah.
robotic hand, right?
Yep.
He does have. See, from far away, it looks like Hayden Christensen, as a 30-year-old good-looking Canadian man that he is. But when they zoom in, it looks like every Instagram filter ever made for women is applied to make him look like a 6-year-old Instagram model. But yeah, that's not Darth Vader's lightsaber.
No, and it's not Anakin's lightsaber either.
This should all be silver.
This is the wrong lightsaber, and I don't know what they did here.
So I don't think they just grabbed the wrong prop.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, did they grab the wrong prop? Did they think no one would notice?
No one will notice.
It's a weird, no, you can't think that way with Star Wars. Fans are going to rip things apart. So,
and we're talking world between worlds. So I'm not unsure. I'm assuming for sure Sith can go to the world between worlds. I just have to assume it's not blocked. They're not blocked. So I'm assuming.
Well, the Emperor was trying to get there, but I think what it is you've got to know. That's what Qui-Gon figured out and was trying to teach, and what Yoda said to Obi-Wan, you've got to be trained by Qui-Gon, I think, to get here,
It's just like her tentacles are like boing,
yeah,
total Anakin boner. But yeah, she's thrilled and excited, and I think what's going to happen in the very next scene here from his little, hey Snips, I thought I heard you or whatever. Boom, he's going to turn into Darth Vader and start fighting her.
Huh?
Because it's all a trick. That's what I think. What do you think?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
So this is my last slide of the show. We'll leave it on a little.
See, I gotta say, when they first created the world between worlds and the way it was presented in Rebels, I had hoped that we would never ever see it again, because what it implied was that there was a way to do time travel and multiverse theory kind of stuff inside Star Wars. And I didn't think that Star Wars needed the addition of time travel and multiverse, infinite Earths and all these things, and have 12 different Ahsokas fighting against 12 different Thrawns or something. You know what I mean?
It is weird. It doesn't.
I don't think Star Wars needs that stuff. However,
I agree. It's science fiction enough and fantasy enough that to just throw in that kind of a curveball, if you will.
Yeah.
And we don't want to call it time travel, but we know it is some sort of altering the past or the future kind of thing.
But I do have to say, though, seeing it in this context, if I'm correct in that this is sort of like where the Force ghosts go, and this is why what we're seeing is a place that living beings aren't supposed to be in. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you can, if like Qui-Gon learned about this place and taught it to Obi-Wan, and then they taught it to Yoda, and Yoda and Obi, and then through their manipulations of the Force, once Anakin was redeemed, they allowed Anakin to come in. Okay, and now this is where Force ghosts live in a sense, and this is how Force ghosts can use a portal to come back and visit, like Luke on Dagobah.
I
You
do
know
like
what I
that
mean?
idea.
So yeah, now it makes more sense because a living person isn't supposed to be here. But somehow, like Ahsoka, maybe it is that because Ahsoka died, and the daughter gave her essence and put it in Ahsoka in order to bring Ahsoka back to life, the daughter of Mortis. Maybe
Yeah, and you know
that's
why I like
why.
that? There's
Maybe
one
that's
reason
why
why I like
Ahsoka
that.
was able to be here,
There's
because
one
she's
reason
half
why
dead
I like
already.
that. Because I think it would help explain the reason why and how they can keep it sort of being canon, even though they've retconned it.
Yeah,
But I think it kind of means they can keep both Anakins, Hayden Christensen version and Sebastian Shaw version, as a Force ghost in my head canon. If they can both be walking around in this world between worlds, like other than that, it's just completely been retconned, and this is the only version of Anakin we'll ever see again. Which I don't like that version, but if it's been retconned by George before Filoni and Favreau got the toys, got the keys to the cabin, so to speak, then it is. Like, I don't think they're going to change George's ways. They might just add to it or enhance it in a way. Like you're saying, maybe we'll see. If we do see a Kenobi, like a Ewan McGregor, or even hell, it's always Ewan McGregor and Hayden. I want to see more of the, I hate to say it, but like the other actors, like the Sir Alec Guinness, the Sebastian Shaw. Like, of course, they're not with us, but
the thing is,
Hayden is not with us here either. This is 100% computer animated.
But
Anakin.
I think
It's not Hayden.
I have a
He didn't get a
feeling,
paycheck for showing up that day.
I have a feeling that that's why they're doing this,
to save money,
like,
and not to
no,
pay Hayden.
like they're doing it because they're improving the technology with each step, and then they're going to get to a point where they can finally bring back Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan and make it look real.
Well, they did it with Tarkin. No problem.
If they did it,
Princess Leia.
If they did it now and people complained, then the Alec Guinness estate would say, well, then you can't use his likeness because people laughed at the last time you did it.
Yes, Milky Way, we can all cheer. Woohoo! Ahsoka, rest in peace, Ahsoka. She got boot stomped off the cliff.
I think Ahsoka's been half dead since Mortis. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Before.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. The daughter of Mortis put her essence in Ahsoka to bring her back to life in that episode. And that's what made Ahsoka able to enter the world beyond worlds. If this is the Jedi Force Ghost place where they live, and no living being is supposed to be able to be here, that's how Ahsoka keeps being drawn back here, is because she's been half dead this whole time. The only reason she's alive.
We all know she probably fell on a space whale. The space whale saves her. The opening scene next week will be like her 3 fingers hanging on the cliff, like,
I think she just landed in the water and she's fine.
And she's currently drowning. Like, she's in the drowning process right now. And the world between worlds is all in her head. Could that be a thing, that the world between worlds is not a real thing? It's just in your head, but we know that's not.
Yeah. It would have had to have been in Ezra's head too, right? But
someone stop sharing Annie because it's fake Annie. Multiverse.
No, but I just think that if she's in the world between worlds, that all she has to do is step through a portal and she could be in Pangea or whatever the hell that place is called in the other galaxy.
That's totally would agree with this, G-Force. Like,
yeah,
as we've seen happen lots, right? Like, or you can force catch yourself, or
I
you can
just
force
watched.
jump a very long time. Because in their cartoons, Ahsoka and Anakin and Kenobi, they would jump like off a moving vehicle
Yeah,
onto like a space banana and then land, and like,
I just saw one of the episodes in season 3 of the Clone Wars. Anakin and Ahsoka were fighting on Geonosia, and the big thing was exploding, and they grabbed Rex and force pushed him off the cliff, and then Anakin and Ahsoka jumped off the cliff, and before they hit the ground, they used the force to stop their fall, and then they kind of went up a little bit and then jumped
spiral landing.
and landed on the ground, and then they grabbed Rex and force landed him just fine, so he didn't die. And Rex said, "Next time, can you tell me you're going to do that rather than just pushing me off the cliff?"
Yeah, let me know in advance. So, John, I got to ask you, because you and me disagreed on this last week. Do you still think that this is a coincidence? Red, blue, red, blue, blue, red, blue, red. Is this like it's the same? It didn't change from last week,
Yeah,
but now it's like, okay, so why was Merrick blue for
yeah.
2 weeks in a row? Like,
It's just. I'm telling you, I think by the end they're all going to be blue. We're just in those middle episodes where half of them are red and half are blue.
it's all about the colors, eh? It's just,
Yeah. At
I
the
don't
end,
know, man. It's weird.
at the end, they'll all be blue. Like at the beginning, they were all red. Yeah, that's what I think's happening.
I don't know. I think it means something, and I think someone should be writing me a check for $1 million if I'm correct. Even though I got nothing to be correct about, because Marok is dead. But what if like there's an army of Maroks?
Yeah,
Now that
yeah.
we know it's like just some.
If it's
Every time I hear
magic,
that, I got. Yeah, we all know it's the dark
magic.
side magic, right? With a K, magic with a K. Is Dino phoning you?
No, it's my cousins.
Yeah, episode 1, Obi-Wan leaps like 4 stories to get back to fight Qui-Gon and Maul. Totally, like there's lots of super huge force jumps, and Vader can like stop, and Rey can stop spaceships in midair. Like, we know how powerful it can be. So when Sabine does a little force, like that little, come on, man. Either you got it or you don't got it. You don't have a fake force slap. So what do you predict, John, is going to happen now? Like, just one episode coming? Is Anakin going to be a big part of it?
See, I don't know what they're going to do, because like I said earlier, well, I don't know if I said it live on the stream or if I was talking to you beforehand, but my mother wrote me after watching this episode and was like, "This is the first time I've been confused." She said, "Where is that place and why is Anakin alive?"
You mean at the end, right? The world.
Yeah, at the end. And I said, "Well, that's the world between worlds. It's in Rebels." And I said, "You probably haven't got that far," because she actually started watching the Clone Wars because while I was building those things, I had the Clone Wars on.
Yeah.
She ended up sitting down and watching a lot of it and fell in love with Ahsoka in the cartoon.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Mom. And then she was like, "That's the girl we've been watching on the Mandalorian and the other." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, this is where she got started." Okay. And then I went in, I was walking out and in the living room, and Mom's watching Clone Wars. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I had to keep going and watch where." So she's going to binge the whole damn thing. And then
if Super Mom is watching, I'm sorry, your son John, scotch taped your eyes open and forced you to watch those children's cartoons. We all apologize.
So I told her that she's got to watch Rebels after Clone Wars, because she's going to have to learn about the world between worlds that way. But
well, in the Rebels, the animation gets way more advanced.
But what I'm getting at is, this was the first time that my mother had no idea where Ahsoka was or why Anakin. So to people who have not, if they do that, if they care, they're gonna have to have some explanation of where they are in the next episode. So I have a feeling that the next episode is mostly going to be in the World Between Worlds.
Oh, really?
And a lot of it is going to be explanatory, whatever you call it, where they're just sitting around explaining what it all is. Maybe we'll get some flashbacks to earlier times, like if they're looking through windows of the past or something in the World Between Worlds. But in some way, they're going to have to explain to people like my mother, who aren't Star Wars fans like we are. They're just casual watchers that enjoy watching everything, but they don't take it apart the way we do. They just watch it and forget it in a sense.
Sure.
So
there's not a bigger puzzle to them like there is.
Yeah.
Everything is a puzzle piece.
If they don't explain what this is, my mother's going to be confused, and she probably won't finish the show. She'll stop watching it because she'll be too confused. That's what happens to her. You know what I mean?
This doesn't really work because our crew's not here.
Yeah,
we need to try to show some Ahsoka love there for a little minute.
But so I think there's going to be a lot of exposition. That's what they call it. Yeah. And
because I think we're going to see a whole episode of Thrawn now. Like if they go swipe, to Thrawn and what's going on there with,
that's the other thing. They could do it in a creative way where they bounce between Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds, and then they show like where the ship landed, and they show Thrawn and the Chimera, and
because there is 3 kind of storylines now they have to follow, right? We got Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds, or being fish food, whatever happens, right? So that's something that we're gonna want to see, and definitely gonna see next week because that's a Dave Filoni directed episode as well.
Yep.
We're gonna see what's going on with Balin and Elsbeth and Shin and Sabine because they just light speeded to the other galaxy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna take a full 49 minutes to get there. Like I'm assuming they'll get there pretty quickly early in the episode. That would be cool because they got more story to tell with that storyline. And then there's the location of, the red tree planet, Satos or whatever, where the droid is by himself with Ahsoka's ship, then Hera.
But the thing is I don't think they have to go back.
Wings will be there.
I don't think that Hu Yang next
episode.
Well,
we know they do because Hera's in the trailer.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is they can leave them till episode 6 or something. They don't have to go back next episode.
I guess, but it just
they could just do the World Between Worlds and Thrawn next week. And then the week after that, go back to see what Hera and them are doing. Because you don't have to have all 3 things in the same episode. Unless that's the reason it's a long episode. Because it is a long episode next week, isn't it?
I think the longest. 40 plus minutes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's almost.
So now Rolando's thinking, I don't want to see Anakin do good stuff. Anakin, to me, he's only redeemed because he died in a way. Like, Darth Vader was killed. So I don't know.
I think it's the other way.
I
think it's the other way around. I think it's Ahsoka's gonna portal to Ezra and Sabine. That's what I think. I think it's the other way around.
I think what is not confirmed, but Ezra from the cartoons was did rebuild Mortis or whatever that little temple was the first time they went there on Thrawn's ship, right? So, and it apparently got destroyed in the cartoons. I'm pretty sure over the 10 years, Ezra could have maybe repaired that. So there's probably a portal there to the World Between Worlds on Thrawn's ship, and maybe Ahsoka can find it, that way, and then just arrive there. But I don't know. I think it's a one-way trip if Ahsoka was to make that trip now. I think they're coming back to us. I don't think any more good guys are going to that other galaxy. I think if they do, that would be like the cliffhanger of the whole series. And now opening up this new galaxy and whatever villains or whatever Thrawn might be running away from there. Because we kind of don't know if he wants to start a war or if he's running away from something else like the Grist or whatever these other creatures might be.
I actually checked to see if it was in my area, and there's no theater in my area playing it.
I did not know.
I would have had to have driven. I would have had to drive 3 hours to Orlando in order to see it. It's not playing in Miami. It's not playing in Fort Lauderdale.
It's
not
playing in 10 theaters in all of the U.S.
It's not playing in West Palm Beach. Yeah.
And you know how much the tickets are?
No, I don't.
It was free.
Really?
It was free. You
Because
just had to claim
theater,
it, and the website kind of crashed.
There was a theater in Orlando because of Disney World that was playing it, but I can't drive 3 hours to go to a movie at that
I think
time.
if you look, some of those theaters are still available, but they're in, Hoboken Town and Pawtucket. I don't know, small town. They're not. They're all big cities, so they'll fill up quick, unless they do more theaters. But I don't see that because they have other movies.
Well, I'm sure it was at Orlando because of Disney World.
Yeah.
It'll be in Anaheim, LA because of Disneyland. It was probably going to be at the Mann's Chinese Theater. You know what I mean?
It would be silly if we don't see at least Thrawn next week. It would just be silly because they're minutes away from Thrawn, like literally minutes away from being face to face with his fleet, if he has a fleet or not. Yeah, it's interesting because we don't know.
The question is, do we see Ezra? Yeah, that's the big question. When do we see Ezra? Do they wait to the end of the entire series, or do we get him earlier? It's kind of.
We know Ezra has been tempted by the dark side before with Darth Maul.
Yeah,
lots of interactions with him, with the Emperor himself. So there is, there's always that chance that Ezra is one of those. Well, could he be a fallen Jedi? If that is that the word, turning to the dark side, does that make you fallen? I guess it does, right?
Yeah,
you strayed off the path.
I just don't think Ezra would fall. I don't think he will. I do think that he could be working with Thrawn, but that doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
No, you're right, but I think someone is destined to turn to the dark side.
Yeah, Balin
just
and
because
Shin.
It's Star Wars and it rhymes.
Yeah,
Balin and Shin are already on the dark side.
Yeah, but they were Jedi, so they fall into the dark side.
I think Sabine is my first choice to turn to the dark side. And I'm not saying permanently. I'm just saying she's going to have to use the Force. She's going to have to do the shortcut, which is the using the dark side and her anger and hate. And that's where she's going to learn how she can use the Force much easier, is by being pissed off and angry. And put those yellow contacts in. They make you way more powerful. I hope Anakin doesn't do good stuff, because Anakin is not good to me. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I'm looking forward to it. If that's, our mid-season finale. Good work, Dave, Mr. Filoni, sir, and you kind of killed off your invention, your favorite character. So I'm proud of you. Proud of you, Dave.
I don't think she's dead. I think she's gonna come back somehow.
We know she will, but I can pretend she's dead with all my action figures, right?
Yeah, of course you can.
I'm gonna go in honor of Ahsoka dying. I'm gonna go lay down all my Ahsoka action figures after the show.
So when can I order my retro ones? When can I order my Kenner figures? I keep looking and they're not up for order.
I already have her.
Well, I've got the one for Mandalorian, but
they said not till like 2024. They actually said fall of 2024, which is just.
I thought that's when they were being.
I won't released. Be around in the fall of 2024.
I thought that's when they were being released during the live stream. During the live stream, they said these will all be up for order on Hasbro Pulse and other retailers tomorrow. At
but they just work there, John. They don't know. They just get paid to say those things. It's not real.
I need.
So your favorite episode? Your favorite episode so far, John?
This one is, yeah.
Now I've seen people on the YouTubes and on the Twitter blow up the internet. This is their favorite live action Star Wars anything ever. Was that episode? Do you understand why people would say that?
No, I like a lot of the stuff, so I don't. I have a hard time rating.
Was that the best Star Wars ever last night?
No,
I don't think it was.
Not ever. Empire.
I don't even think it was the best Disney Plus Star Wars TV show. I think it was just the best Ahsoka episode so far.
Yeah. It's hard.
I
It's
think
hard to say because, like, I'll tell you right now, I've watched each season of The Mandalorian at least 10 or 12 times. I've watched Andor like 20 times probably. And it's like the only one I've watched once was Book of Boba Fett. I've watched Kenobi like 5 or 6 times. The Book of Boba Fett's the only thing I watched the one time, and I haven't had the
Okay.
desire to go back. So I mean, but if I watch things multiple times, no matter how much, 5, 6, 20, whatever, it's good to me. So I mean, I have no problem with any of these Star Wars shows.
no,
Uh,
I'm thoroughly enjoying it, even
except
though
I
it
just
started
haven't
off
had the
really
desire
slow.
to go back and watch Book of Boba Fett again. That's the only one
I have
haven't had that.
100% watched every Disney Plus Star Wars show for sure 3 times just because of the
Yeah.
after show that I do. So I watch it with the subtitles, and then I kind of watch it again and try and get some screen grabs that I think are appropriate. So
Sure. Yeah.
to me, that counts as 3 times.
Yeah.
But I've also watched all of them many more times except for Kenobi. Kenobi's the only one I haven't gone back and actually rewatched like I have with Andor and Book of Boba Fett. I watched them all at least 6, 7, 8 times. I liked them all. They were all Kenobi. I do like it. I enjoy it because it had the great actors, and Reva was a great actor. I just thought it felt like the cheapest one they made so far. That's just my opinion. I still liked it. It was still very cool. I did appreciate.
Yeah, I think the cheapest. I
It
thought
made
the
me
cheapest
appreciate the
one is.
prequels a little more, seeing
Yeah.
those actors again. And
I think the cheapest one is Book of Boba Fett. I really do. I thought that was done. It was edited completely wrong. Like it was. Just
I know what you mean. I felt to me like 80s TV, which She-Hulk kind of gave me that. Like, but let's pretend it was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe people like Rick will get it. And it works for me.
I think my problem with Book of Boba Fett is they should never have done the flashbacks. The flashback scenes with the Tusken Raiders should have been the first 2 episodes, and then with him getting out of the Sarlacc, being rescued by the Tuskens, going through that process, and then you go into the stuff that's in the now time or whatever.
I hear you. That's again
like
the editing.
It should not have been cut together the way it was cut together. That was just
And that was done. That
bad
was for sure
planning.
done on purpose. Like I don't think the editor made that choice. I think the writer Filoni chose to do these flashbacks.
It was bad
as a way of telling the story. But you know what? We haven't seen any flashbacks since Book of Boba Fett. Do you know what I mean? Mando had a couple with him getting rescued as a kid. That was part of the season 1. But now I'm thinking about it now. Did we see any? We didn't see any Kenobi flashbacks. We didn't see any Andor flashbacks that I know of. And Ahsoka, we haven't seen a flashback yet. I think we will. I think we're destined.
They'll peer through the time beyond time.
Yes.
And look at different spots. Yeah, that would make sense. Because that would be a good way to explain where they are, what this realm is, without having too much exposition or whatever. You know what I mean?
Try taking some of those blue boner pills, I'm for sure you'll stay awake at least an hour. you won't be able to roll over. G-Force tweeted Hasbro to make the additional Sabine and Chopper figs exclusive to Ghost backers. Limited time to those who back can get the whole crew. I'm not sure what they mean. They was all fully funded, so you get them all anyway. They did say that Sabine and Chopper would be available to buy.
Yeah, are available to buy. Yeah. They're already doing
they're only available to backers. I don't think I can buy them.
Yes, exactly. Yes, they're only available to backers to buy.
Unless they put them up for sale like tomorrow, charge your credit card tomorrow, and then the day after tomorrow I can cancel my Ghost pre-order. No, I didn't. I didn't pre-order it. It's cool, but
his childhood.
You're right. We did get some flashback. That's right. So I don't know. It's part of the storytelling style that
But he didn't have to go lay in a back the tank and remember it like a dream. You know what I mean?
No, that's Boba style.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. I wonder if we're going to see Book of Boba again with more flashback to with Cobb Vanth. Because Cobb Vanth is now.
Yeah.
And we know that the Black Cranston also did some back to tanking.
Yeah.
Boba's like, I had to carry him. Well, let's get him to the back to tank, mate, or whatever he called him. BK. Awesome, man. So I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because of those rental lights, the mistake on Jason's dialogue. I'm sure that was just a mistake. And I bet you when we go rewatch it again tonight,
It'll be back. It'll be
they've
in
edited it. They fixed it.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I was extremely happy. It felt very Star Wars.
Speaking of fixing things, sorry. I gotta say that I rewatched Andor about a week or two ago.
Okay.
And all of a sudden there was a lot of aliens in the background of Andor. I feel like I remember when you and I did the Andor after show, that was one of the things we were complaining about, is that there wasn't a lot of aliens in the show.
We did. Every one that showed up, we pointed out.
Yeah.
Like I tried to screenshot. There was a couple of aliens in this episode on the home base there.
No, but what I'm saying is,
saying
is all of a sudden Andor's full of aliens. Like they re-edited the show and added aliens.
Really?
In. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that.
I watched it like a week or two ago, and I was like, "Where are all these aliens coming from?" I remember sitting with Rick, and we were like, "There's no way. There's only like one or two aliens in this show." And I remember we talked about it, and you were doing screen grabs of the few aliens that did show up. And I was like, and now all of a sudden I'm like, there's aliens all over the place. How did Rick and I not notice all these aliens?
I'm watching Andor tonight.
So then I thought to myself, wait a minute, did they go back and add a bunch of aliens in the background?
Hey, there's no rules.
You know what I mean?
No rules. They can go back, and if we go back and watch like Return of the Jedi, maybe they change the Force Ghost back to Sebastian Stan again. Like
yeah. And add
what is a MILF? I don't know what that
mother
means.
I'd like to. And they'd add back I think they need to put back in all the Starbucks cups and stuff.
So I don't think we can do another hour, John. I'm sorry to say.
I gotta go anyways. I gotta.
So thank you very much, Super John, for joining me today. Us older guys, we handled it. Maybe the best episode of the season, because maybe the rest suck. We don't know. And Sir Eric and Ways of the Sith missed it because they're feeding babies or unpacking, whatever they're doing. It's all good, man. Life comes first, guys. So hopefully we see you guys next week and we can get back on the swing of things. So thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us and listening to me and John speculate and masturbate and ejaculate and talk Star Wars all the day long. It was fun, man. I really like this episode. I look forward to giving it another rewatch because of the badass lightsaber scenes. And if I missed any booty shots, I can't get enough of the booty snacks. So, lots of big 10s out of 10s. I'm giving it I have to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I'd be around an 8.5 to 9. That's good. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'd give it, if it was Andor, I'd probably, grade it differently. But it was awesome, man. I really liked it. I hope it.
I can't wait for Andor season 2. I got to tell you, that's like my most
we might have to wait another year, and more than a year.
I know it's going to be crazy.
Man, my beard's going to be freaking. Oh man, I'm going to grow my hair back.
They're going to have to regrow. They're going to have to rebuild the city because the set is going to just deteriorate. By the time.
They actually tore it down.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they
would
knew
have just left it.
Winter and fall and seasons were going to go by, and it just would have
cover it in a big tarp.
Yeah, I guess. And thank you to all the fine folks in the chat for joining us. If you haven't already, please smash that like button so all 140 of you can show your appreciation. And if you haven't subscribed, I could use 16 more subscribers right about now and about 1,000 view hours. So once you're done watching this, if you play it again while you're going to sleep and you listen to the soothing voices of Rick and John while you go to sleep on replay, we gain a couple more hours. So thanks in advance. Thanks again, Super John. And we'll see you guys all next week, and we'll do this all again.
We back. We in effect. What? We back.
What?
We back.
Oh man, you lose, dog. All right, you out. Next.
Left coast is the best coast.